to grow up. The darling family lived in the city of London. They lived in a tall, narrow house. There were 3 children in the family. Wendy was the oldest. She had 2 brothers called John and Michael. The children slept in a bedroom at the top of the house. Wendy told them stories about strange lands. Their bedroom was a happy place. Mr. and Mrs. Darling loved their children, but they needed help to look after them. I do not have much money. I cannot pay someone to look after you, Mr. Darling told them. So he bought a big, friendly dog called Nana. She looked after the children well. Nana brushed their hair. She helped them to dress. She gave them their medicine. She even filled the bath with water for them. One evening, Mr. and Mrs. Darling were getting ready to go out. They went into the children's bedroom. Wendy, you are too old to share a room with your brothers, said Mr. Darling. Tomorrow you shall have a room of your own. But I like it in here, said Wendy. We have fun together. I feel safe with Nana watching over us. Wendy did not want to grow up. When she was about to tell her father, he shouted, "Look at my trousers." His smart trousers were covered with long white dog hairs. Why do we have a dog to take care of our children? He shouted. Because she looks after them so well, said Mrs. Darling. Just then Nana appeared. She had some medicine for Michael. Time to take your medicine, she said. Michael frowned. I don't want to take it, he said. When I was a boy, I always took my medicine, said Mr. Darling. You must do the same. This was not true. Mr. Darling hated to take any medicine. Wendy knew where Mr. Darling kept his medicine. She went to fetch it. You can show Michael how to be brave, she said. Mr. Darling did not want to take the medicine. He poured it into Nana's bowl. Nana began to drink it. Mr. Darling thought it was a funny joke. That was a mean thing to do, said Wendy. Mr. Darling felt ashamed. Nana must go and sleep outside, he said. But who will look after us? Cried Michael. Nana can still guard the house, said Mr. Darling. He took Nana downstairs. He tied her to the doghouse. After a while, Mrs. Darling came out. She looked up at the window. I hope that the children will be safe, she said. Nana barked. It was a bark that meant danger was near. Don't you think we should stay at home? Asked Mrs. Darling. No, I do not, said Mr. Darling. Now let us go, or we will miss our dinner. In the bedroom, Wendy lay in bed. The curtains were open, and she could see the stars. Everything was quiet. John and Michael were asleep. The window was open a little. Wendy heard Nana barking. She wondered why Nana was barking, but she fell asleep soon.